So it's a great weekend, great 4-game sweep, really consistent baseball defensively and even offensively. I know we didn't score a whole lot of runs on Friday night, but like I said, we swung the bat a lot better on Friday, even though the result was similar to Tuesday night. The swings and the approaches were a lot better. And today it was a great start to the game after you beat them up pretty good yesterday in a doubleheader coming out, and Brian being as dominant as he was in the top half of the first and putting up a 5 spot in the bottom of the first, it's very demoralizing to a team on the other side. And to be honest, they did a good job of really not quitting and continuing to fight. And I would like to have seen us add on more. But they brought a good sidearmer out of the bullpen there, and I thought the first 3 starters we saw this weekend could easily pitch in the ACC or in any conference in the country. So it was quality arms, and I thought we did well. We extended at bats and battled and got those guys out of the game because they were pretty tough. So and I think today, if I'm not mistaken, I think Ogden might be the 5th player in our regular lineup that's had a perfect 3-for-3 or a 4-for-4 game already this season in only 8 games. So it's nice when it's always somebody different getting the job done and coming in clutch situations.
When it comes to Brian, you've been around him for a few years now. Just to see what he had to go through, obviously injuries first year, and then not pitching too much last year, to see what he's done through the first few starts. What stood out to you the most about how he's gone about everything?
What I liked best about today was the one thing he needed to work on and improve on from last week was holding runners as times to the plate. And I guess they attempted 1 stolen base on him, but it was really a 2-2 count with 2 outs. So he's just in motion to stay out of the easy force play at second base probably. But it's just his times to the plate where we need to be. 1-2-5 to 1-3-5. It's something they worked on in his bullpen this week, and most importantly through strikes, being quicker to the plate. So it's always good when even when you have a good game, there's always something to improve on, and he did that this past week.
Any other questions? Yeah, and when it comes to the rotation overall, seeing how they're doing, I think you guys are averaging like a strikeout and a half per inning from that group, and seeing again you're getting consistency early. Just to see that early in the season, how big is that, especially to have a baseline moving forward?
Strikeouts are great, and they're very sexy, and everybody talks about them, but you got to get the first 2 strikes in there first. So it's important to be ahead of the count when you get to 2 strikes as well. So all those things, those are a byproduct of good work prior to getting the strikeout. And we've done a good job of that. We've been very consistent on the mound. Our defense has been solid behind our pitchers, and it's very easy to pitch when you can trust the defense behind you. You can challenge hitters.
A new tweak in the lineup. Do you consider changing it up again? I know you decided to balance out where your hitters are. How did you like the lineup throughout this weekend?
Obviously it worked great, right? Once we made that change yesterday, it seemed to work out, and the right guys were at the plate at the right moments, and it was simple, changing the leadoff guy and moving everybody up a spot, really, and then inserting Ogden in the 4 spot. I don't think we really have a traditional, cleanup type of hitter on the roster, so a guy's going to come in clutch is very important in that 4 spot, and Ogden's been that and then some early on this season.
I know Brian Walters, well, I know it's early in the season, but Brian Walters had no hits throughout 6. Later on in the year, would you allow Walters to go longer in that kind of game? You only had 70 pitches.
Yeah, look, it's no hitter would have been great, but we're not going to stretch anybody out this early in the season. So, he could have gone a 7th inning or an 8th inning. He's not going to throw 100 pitches his first time out. So, we're always going to look out for the best interest of the player. And he probably would have been begging to stay in the game, but he was going to lose that battle, I promise you. So it's great to see quality starts out of him after everything he's been through and how hard he's worked to get to where he's at today.
It's been quality starts out of most of your starters. It's been quality starts out of your starters over the past 2 weekends, going into Gainesville next weekend. I know you're focused on Florida Gulf Coast first, but with those starters going into Gainesville, what do you like out of that consistency from the group?
They're going to challenge guys. They're going to throw strikes, and they're going to force guys to put the ball in play. And we always have a chance to defend against balls put in play. Walks is tough to defend against. We had a little bit of that issue on Tuesday night against FAU, but we got to throw strikes. We got to challenge hitters and trust your defense. That's the only chance of success. The other way around is you have no chance. So I think we have guys that are just not afraid of contact, and they're going to make their pitch. And whatever happens after the ball leaves your hands, there's not much you can do about it. So there's no sense in worrying about it, and they don't.
Heading into the weekend, Max Galvin and Cuvée were on a slump. How important was it to see those 2 players really be productive over the 4-game series?
I think you saw it in the run production, right? Those guys get hot. They're hitting where they're hitting for a reason. They're hitting back to back for a reason, right? One is protecting the other there. Then you add Ogden behind them, and and then Dorian behind Ogden. It gets the lineup's pretty long. It's pretty long. It doesn't really give a pitcher a chance to relax mentally. When you got a guy like Derek Williams, double-digit home runs last year, hitting 8th, and Hudson with some real power hitting 9th. Those are guys that you can't relax. You make a mistake, they're going to make you pay. So, But going back to your original question, Cuvée and Galvin are there for a reason, and we expect them to do that all year.
Awesome. We'll end it there. Thank you, JD.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.